Before I get into it, let me say this is not a boxing channel. I don't do sports. I don't cover sports, but it's really a channel where I'm trying to talk to like young men as men with a particular emphasis on black men, but it hasn't been easy because we have a problem with reality, you know what I'm saying? And that's part of what I'm going to discuss dealing with this Tank Davis fight. We seem to not like what's real. You know, we seem to be in a place where we think our feelings can somehow change reality. You know, how we feel about something actually matters, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't, you know. How we feel about a thing doesn't change the reality of what is. And we got to start learning how to accept that fact. Now, this fight did not play out the way many people thought it would. I myself thought that Lamont Roach would give an excellent fight, an excellent account of himself, but at some point Tank would catch him later on in the fight, 9th, 10th, 11th round, you know what I'm saying, and get him out of there. Lamont Roach is not a dude that have a lot of knockouts, you know what I'm saying? He's not known as being a particularly strong puncher, so I didn't think Tank would have any trepidations about, you know what I'm saying, dealing with his power or, going into the fight. I just didn't think Tank would be afraid of getting knocked out or hurt by him seriously, right? And we saw that that's not the case. I'm going to say some things in this video that Tank fans are not going to like, but I need to make it clear I'm not a Tank hater. I've never been a Tank hater. You know what I'm saying? I watch his fights. I support, I like boxing. I'm from the old school where I don't really get caught up in these men's lives. You know what I'm saying? I'm not somebody who cheerlead for a man. I'm not like that. You know, I watch the sport, may the best man win. That's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? Old school dude. I don't get caught up into how much money people making, who making what. I don't care. It's not coming to my pocket. I don't get into all that. I don't get into the politics or nothing and who's ducking who. I don't care. Let me know when you fight. I either watch it or I don't. That's just me. I'm from the old school, right? So I need to Tank haters to understand that this is not me hating on Tank. This is not me hating on anybody, right? But I'm going to say the truth. I'm going to tell you what I seen as an old school gangster, dude that been in street fights, a dude that been in shootouts, you know what I'm saying? I've been in penitentiary fights. I've been in fights with hand weapons. I've been in fights with guns. So I've been in all kinds of battles. So I'm going to tell you as a battle-tested person what I seen. That's what I'm going to do. So there are criteria in scoring a boxing match. You got ring generalship, clean and effective punching, effective aggression, and defense, right? This is basically how you score a fight. There is no part of that fight that Roach wasn't in control of, people. See, this is why, to me, the fight wasn't close. I don't care if the fight was entertaining. Tank was fighting. There was moments. But overall is how you score each round. And there was no round in that fight in which Lamont Roach wasn't the one in control of that fight. He was clearly the ring general. That's one. The best punches, the cleanest and most effective punches were all landed by Roach. Tank got a few shots, and you seen Roach face. He had some bruises, right? But you seen Tank get buckled a few times, something that you're not used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? You see Tank get hit to the body and back off, you know? You seen Roach spin and counter, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the cleaner and most effective punches, I mean, he punched with Tank. The cleanest and most effective punches, you can argue clean, effective punches, 50-50, I can't. I think the cleanest and most effective punches went to Roach also. But I mean, they were exchanging at times, right? So we're going to leave that alone, right? That's still one and a tie, right? So that's still one. The next thing is defense. Definitely, Lamont Roach had the best defense. Effective aggression. Definitely, Lamont Roach's aggression was effective. He stayed on Tank, but he never made mistakes. And I'm going to come back to this here. Just give me a second. He stayed on Tank, but he never really made mistakes. You know what I'm saying? He was right there on Tank, but he didn't rush himself. He didn't overextend himself. He kept his defense tight. He worked behind, you know, he jabbed his way in most of the time, or he walked in, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, he understood what he's up against, but he never fought with any type of fear. He was the aggressor the entire fight. He controlled the entire fight. And to me, he had the better defense. So the clean and effective punches, you can make that go both ways. But at the end of the day, in 3 of the 4 categories, you got to see it for Roach. That's a clear win for Roach. That's a clear win. He does that majority of rounds, which he did. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean just 7 rounds. You know what I'm saying? I think he did it for at least 8 or 9 of the rounds. You know what I'm saying? To me, like I said, to me, the fight wasn't close. And that's without the knockdown. I had it 8-4, 9-3 easy for Roach. That's how I seen it. Now, I don't think this was an off night for Tank. I think this was a stylistic problem for Tank. Styles make fights, people. And I heard an interview by Lamont Roach, and it was asking him, do you think you just provided a blueprint to beating Tank? He was like, nah, because everybody not me. You know, other people don't fight like me. You know what I'm saying? And I agree. I don't think this is so much of a blueprint as it is the way Lamont Roach fights and approach fights is going to give Tank problems. They can fight 100 times, and that's going to be the result every time unless one of them catch the other one and just knock them out. If neither one catch the other, that's going to be how that fight is going to look every time because it's a stylistic problem for Tank. What Tank wants is to lure somebody into a trap. Roach never gave him that. And there was at a point in the fight, somewhere around the 4th round, I think I told my wife, Tank is confused. I'm telling you, I see things. Told my wife, Tank is confused. I said, he don't know what to do. And by the 6th round, I was sure of it. He don't know what to do. He have no idea how to approach this fight. He confused. Because you can see Tank wanting Lamont Roach to do things that Lamont Roach wouldn't do, which means Tank couldn't do what he wanted to do. He was looking to counter Tank in between shots. He wasn't running, people. He wasn't scared of Tank's power. He said before the fight that Tank is not knocking me out. That ain't happening, so I ain't worried about that. That ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going out like that. It's not happening. So whatever he do, I'm going to do. And what I think that nobody really counted on was Lamont Roach being able to actually get Tank to fear his power. This was not an off night, people. It was an expose. That's what it was. It was not an off night. It was an expose. Now, the knockdown. You can't take a knee in boxing for any reason in the middle of action, bro. You can't do it. That is a knockdown. I don't care why you take the knee. It is a knockdown. The only reason why nobody ever say FLOYD has ever been knocked down because, you know, FLOYD took a knee one time when he hurt his hand in the fight, you know, but it was a knockdown. Nobody ever say anything about that knockdown, you know, or you could argue the Zab Judah check hook. FLOYD glove did kind of scrape the ground, you know, the floor, which technically makes it a knockdown, you know what I'm saying? But FLOYD never went down, you know, so, okay, he skated on that one. But the one where he took the knee, they counted as a knockdown. I mean, so you can't take a knee in boxing for any reason. And a punch was landed. Now, to the people who are going to hate on Tank, they're going to say Lamont Roach hit Tank in the eye. It don't seem like the punch hit Tank in the eye. But then it doesn't have to push something into the eye. It can hit under here. The gloves are big. It can hit under here and pushes something up in the eye. Did something go in Tank's eye? From the way I looked at it, right, when it happened, and from the replays I looked at, it don't look like something went in his eye. He didn't start, you know, blinking like he didn't give the typical reaction you would give, you know what I'm saying, if something went in your eye. But you could tell his eye got bothered. But that on top of the fact that he's already befuddled, he's already bewildered. He has no ideas what to do. Tank has no answers. He's completely out his kufi right now. And all of that mixed in together is why he took the knee, which is something he shouldn't have did, and turned his back. He took a knee, then turned his back. That's submission, people. And then his people jumped on a thing to give him a towel. That's disqualification, people. That could have been a 10-8 round. That could have been a fight waved off because Tank quit. or they could have been disqualification for the corner interfering, doing a round. I mean, that was one of the weirdest rounds in boxing history, bro. And that's the kind of stuff that makes boxing look bad. They should have handled that the way they were supposed to handle that. You know what I'm saying? That should have either been a point deducted for all the stuff, right? Point deducted, which is the same thing, or counted as a knockdown and give him an 8 count, or, you know, wave it off because he turned his back and ran to the corner, or disqualify him because his people jumped up on the ring. I mean, none of this stuff is permissible, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of action, in between rounds, you know what I'm saying? So I think all that was just a result of Tank just really not being in his right mind at the time. I think Roach was just too much for him, bro. I think he just really had no answer. The dude defense is too tight. You know, I just think Tank had no answer. You know what I'm saying? Now, the stuff going on in his personal life. A lot has been said about Tank's issues with Floyd Mayweather. You know, I see the videos. I never click them on, but I see the captions, or the titles. They accuse Floyd of trying to sabotage Tank, accuse Floyd of being jealous of Tank. I don't think Floyd was ever trying to sabotage Tank or be jealous of him. Floyd had a lot invested in Tank, bro. You know, Tank was flying around on Floyd's private jets and stuff, man. I don't think Floyd ever hated the dude or had any ill intent for Tank, you know what I'm saying? I just think Floyd saw Tank as his personal project. You know what I'm saying? He was proud of his personal project, but Tank see himself not as anybody's project, but I'm my own man. And that dynamic can have a problem. You know, you can see the clash, but the way Tank went about dealing with that issue is what I don't respect. He was the one constantly blasting stuff online about Floyd. You never heard Floyd say anything about what's going on. Nothing. Y'all be lying on Floyd all the time, talking about he jealous and stuff, but y'all never heard. First of all, Floyd be minding his business. He over there or over here or over there doing his own thing. It be Tank always talking about Floyd. They have been separated now for 3-4 years. You haven't heard Floyd say anything, but don't ask me nothing about Tank. But you've heard Tank constantly taking digs at Floyd. Constantly. If something hits the news negative about Floyd, Tank tweets on it and comment on it. Now you have this situation with his coach, Calvin Ford. Something is going on there, people. Look, the explanations that Calvin and Tank are trying to give, nah, they not telling us the whole story. It's their story to tell, so I mean, they don't have to tell us the whole story. But I'm telling you, something is going on there. Because during the fight, you can hear Calvin trying to talk to Tank, and Tank snapped at him. It's like he has some kind of animosity towards Calvin now. There's something going on there, I'm telling you, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's some tension there between Tank and Calvin Ford. Barry Hunter cannot train Tank. Well, my personal belief is Tank needs somebody in the corner that he actually respects. Ford is an OG from that community, from that city. Ford is a dude that they've been hearing about growing up. All the people know him, you know what I'm saying? OG Ford, you know what I'm saying? Put his work out in the streets, you know, went to the penitentiary. Everybody know Ford. And the way my understanding is, in the TV show The Wire, that character of that dude that came out of prison that got the loan to start that gym, that was based on Calvin Ford. Now, I could be wrong about that. That's what I heard. I don't know. But it does line up, right? It does line up. With that being said, Floyd had Tank's respect for a while. You remember in the Barrios fight when Floyd told Tank, "You're down. I need you to go out there and show me you're great. Go get him." What did Tank do when that bell rung? He zoomed across that ring and took Barrio out. Took him out. Knocked him down that round twice and stopped him the next round after. Took him out. Because Floyd told him, go get him. Calvin Ford and Floyd were good in Tank's ear because they reached a part of Tank that was primal. That when they talked to Tank, they removed all of his insecurities and nervousness and all that stuff. They were able to remove all of this as long as Tank respected these men. It made him a different fighter. Because I'm telling you, Calvin Ford, if he was in Tank's ear, he'd have told Tank, go get him. If Floyd was in that corner and talking to Tank or at ringside, Floyd would walk through the Tank and say, hey, but you're down. Go get him. Because Floyd had already told these youngsters that at some point, some of these cats are going to have to fight. Floyd been told them that the boxing is nice, it's pretty, but some of these dudes that boxing is not going to work on, depend on that dude. Some of these cats you're going to have to fight. Last night, Lamont Roach was that dude that Tank needed to fight. But by Tank having more fear of being a meme, by him having more fear of being knocked down or stopped, he didn't want to take that chance. And that's the chance that he know the OGs would have taken. When Shane Mosley rocked Floyd, Floyd told Shane, you're going to have to kill me to stop me. And Floyd fought on. Because Floyd got a different mentality. Y'all want to hate the dude, but y'all don't understand Floyd was really about that, bro. Floyd was about it, bro. For real, for real. He didn't just talk arrogant. He believed every bit of that stuff he would say about fighters, how he's the best of all times. He believed this stuff. He believed that you ain't beating him. He believed that he got what it takes to outbox you, and if he got to get in a dogfight with you, he got what it takes to get in a dogfight with you because he trains in doghouse rules in his gym. That's what that whole thing is about. That's what the whole doghouse sessions be about, to toughen him up so that he'd get brutalized by dudes that outweigh him by 40, 50 pounds. He go in there and he'd scrap it out with these dudes, you know what I'm saying? So that if he have to fight somebody in the ring on fight night, he's able to fight them. That's why Floyd did all that. Because he would do doghouse rules in the gym and go in the ring and box. Get him an easy victory without the mark on his face and go to the nightclub. So I think something is going on in Tank's personal life, and I think it all revolves around Tank himself. The talks of retirement. Leonard Ellerby nowhere to be found. Where was Leonard Ellerby? There's something going on in Tank's corner, and I think it's all due to Tank. Now, the aftermath of all this here, bro, the mystique is gone, you know? This is the definition of being exposed, people. That's what this is. The mystique is gone. This is Deontay Wilder all over again. Now people are going to believe that, say, man, if it's not so much about being able to take his power, but it's about being able to it's about making sure that you are strong enough to not get hurt with a single shot and to not let him land a great shot. Keep your defense tight so he don't ever land a great shot. And if you can get through that and be able to box with him and bang with him, you got a very good chance of winning against Tank. Because Tank doesn't have an advantage in any other area except for setting up a trap and letting you walk into a punch. That's it. A counter punch. But if you keep everything tight, you know what I'm saying, you keep your defense tight, you keep your aggression, you know, intelligent, Tank got problems, bro. Now, you can like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. But again, this is not a boxing channel, not a sports channel. I talk about other topics, but, you know, I discuss other things sometimes. So, thank you for tuning in. I'm out of here, Brother Kush. Salam.